What's good? It's your boy Twiz. You guys finally got me to make another Yong Yea video. I've been purposely avoiding doing content on this guy because I feel like in my last couple videos I said everything I needed to say. He very obviously has an extreme bias against Stadia, and I've already pointed it all out. To give you guys a little bit of context for those of y'all who might not have seen it, a few months back when Cyberpunk was announced to be delayed on Stadia,
Cyberpunk 2077 will see a delayed release only on Stadia.
Yong Yea made an entire video not just talking about the delay,
only on Stadia,
but ripping on Stadia in general, basically using Cyberpunk's delay as evidence that Stadia is trash and developers don't care for it.
Bad enough that customers aren't seeing the value in Stadia, but now when you're starting to see developers saying that not releasing the Google Stadia version on time is a worthy compromise, when you start seeing that developers also don't see that much value in the Stadia version, I mean, that's when you're in trouble.
But what did we find out a couple days ago? We found out that Cyberpunk is officially coming out to Stadia the same day it goes everywhere else.
Now, before we wrap up today's episode, there is one more thing to talk about.
Ooh.
Previously, we announced
Stadia.
that Cyberpunk 2077 was coming to Stadia, and today we can tell you that it is arriving on November 19th alongside other platforms, and pre-orders are starting now.
The only thing I have to say about that is...
wow. Just... wow. I cannot comprehend the level of just lack of foresight.
And it got me thinking about the original video. You guys have to understand, if you haven't seen it, he was using the Cyberpunk delay as complete evidence to why Stadia is a failure and why developers don't care about Stadia. Like, he made a 12-minute video that basically took everything that he saw wrong with Stadia and crammed it all in one video and put the stamp on it that, see, Cyberpunk's delayed on it, that's why I'm right.
So what we're looking at now, ladies and gentlemen, is a cloud gaming service that has an awful business model. It has a pathetic library of games. It is lacking in the promised features. It is technically flawed and inconsistent. It releases inferior versions of games with lower resolution and or lower frame rate than its other version counterparts.
I'm not going to clap back or debate his points. I already did so in a previous video. But what I want to point out to you is that the purpose of his video was to talk about Cyberpunk's delay on Stadia, not to necessarily rip on Stadia, but he couldn't help himself. Now, remember at the start of this video where I said I was originally going to roast him, but then I couldn't bring myself to do it and I actually started feeling sorry for him? Let me show you why. Let's watch this clip again.
Oh crap.
We'll then wrap up today's episode with some news about Stadia. There is a lot to talk about. So,
Stadia though?
Let's get started.
Why?
I want you to remember this look on his face. It will be very important in a moment. All right, let's watch this clip again.
Now, before we wrap up today's episode, there is one more thing to talk about.
Ooh.
Previously, we announced
Stadia.
that Cyberpunk 2077 was coming to Stadia, and today we can tell you that it is arriving on November 19th alongside other platforms, and pre-orders are starting now. Night City Wire is almost over.
Why you'd want to get it for Stadia?
A little bit more, then stay tuned right here on the Twitch channel and join us for our post show. As always, don't forget that if you've missed anything,
I don't know,
want
but
to watch again,
hey, if you use the platform, there you go.
Let me explain what we just witnessed here and something that's becoming very apparent. His hatred and dislike of Stadia is just not his objective preference. This man has internalized his hatred for Stadia. This is now a part of who he is. This is why he gets enjoyment from talking bad about Stadia.
There is a lot to talk about. So,
Stadia though?
Let's get started.
What a complete and monumental flop this cloud streaming platform has been. Stadia, without question, stands among the least compelling of cloud streaming, cloud gaming propositions. Just across the board, every facet of Stadia is unreliable. The Stadia version is literally pointless. It is just completely irrelevant. The business model is utter ass.
These are all clips taken from one video. His video where he is talking about Cyberpunk being delayed on Stadia. They all came from the same video. So if the delay of Cyberpunk makes him act like this, wouldn't the release of it have the opposite effect? The unfortunate answer is no, because it's not really about Cyberpunk. This guy has internalized his hatred for Stadia. If he sees a flaw with Stadia, He wants to point it out and enjoy it. But if Stadia does something right, it's like it physically hurts him. Look.
Is arriving on November 19th alongside other platforms, and pre-orders are starting now.
You can tell it's an emotional reaction because look how he raises his voice.
Night City Wire is almost over.
Why you'd want to get it for Stadia?
A little bit more.
And now he asks the question, why would you get it on Stadia? Well, I do remember you gave us a reason not to get it on Stadia.
By the time the game launches on Stadia, people have already enjoyed it on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
I guess that excuse doesn't hold water anymore? I mean, tell us. Why should we get it on Stadia? You are capable of saying something positive about Stadia, right?
Then stay tuned right here on the Twitch channel and join us for our post show. As always, don't forget that if you've missed anything,
I don't know,
but
but
to watch again,
hey, if you use the platform, there you go, on launch day.
Shortly.
And we look at that. The man could not say anything good about Stadia. He couldn't even be happy for the people who don't have consoles, and Stadia is their only way to play it. Like I said before, this has never been about developers supporting the platform. It's never been about the lack of games. It's never been about Cyberpunk coming out late. It's always been about his hatred, his dislike of the platform, his extreme bias against the platform, and finding excuses to hammer Stadia and talk about it. If you need more proof, here, we all remember this, don't we?
I'm so excited to play this game. It's a world
Stadia.
I just can't wait to explore.
Bruh.
Hi, I'm Phil Harrison. We're looking forward to Immortals Phoenix Rising coming to Stadia on December 3rd.
From what I
We're
played,
also excited to
very,
announce that
really
all
positive
Stadia
impressions.
players will get a
I
chance
wouldn't
to
rule it
try
out.
Immortals Phoenix Rising with a free playable demo before launch that is exclusive to Stadia. All you'll need is a Gmail account. With just a single click, you'll be able to add the demo to your Stadia library and instantly join Phoenix on her quest to save the Greek gods. Created specifically for this Stadia demo, Ubisoft have developed an entirely unique island for you to experience. We hope you'll love it. The exclusive Stadia demo of Immortals Phoenix Rising will be playable later this year in all regions where Stadia is accessible. Thank you to Yves Guillemot and the entire Ubisoft Quebec studio for your partnership in bringing amazing experiences to Stadia.
Hold on. Only Stadia gets the demo?
As the narrators in Immortals
Why?
Phoenix Rising led to a unique style of storytelling.
Here's Michelle Plord to tell us more.
There you go. You had another golden opportunity to say something good about the platform, or at least congratulate users of Stadia. To anybody who has been paying attention to the platform, Stadia has been consistently improving. Not just in games, but also their marketing as well. And now that they're getting Cyberpunk on release, one of his main talking points against the game, you have to realize that developers actually care. Good games are actually coming to Stadia. And I say this to everyone, but especially you, Yong, if by some miracle you watch this video, you need to understand something. That hatred you have for Stadia is going to hurt you. If you get enjoyment from bringing the platform down, but it hurts you whenever you see the platform succeed, I have bad news for you. Cloud gaming is the future, and Stadia will be a major player in it. Everything about the future is looking good for Stadia. They'll have more time to get more games. They'll have more time to get more developers. They'll have more time to get more users. They'll have more time to get better advertising. They'll have more time to update their hardware. And they're run by Google, who not only have the money to make it happen, but they already have most of the tech in place to do it. Look, I'm not making this video to talk good about Stadia. That really wasn't the point. The point that I'm trying to make is, Stadia is going to have more wins, and it's going to grow and do much better than you're anticipating. And if you literally can't take it, if you cannot handle it, every time you see Stadia do something good, you need to readjust the way you look at things, man, and get rid of that extreme bias. You know, you could not use Stadia. You can enjoy Xbox, you can enjoy PlayStation, you can enjoy PC, but that doesn't mean that you have to take enjoyment from Stadia's demise, because by doing so, you're opening the door for you to feel pain for whenever Stadia succeeds, and you're in for a world of pain. Now I ask you, has the release of Cyberpunk being updated for Stadia changed your mind at all?
Culty Broom says everything was cool, just not the Stadia part. So what happened with Stadia was that before Cyberpunk got delayed, they basically couldn't release the Stadia version on time alongside the other platforms. But because Cyberpunk got delayed, the Stadia version got time to, I guess, be optimized, and now that's able to release alongside the other versions that were delayed. So, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, cool, if you're a Stadia user and have been enjoying the platform and it works for you, then great.
There you go. Oh my God, he finally did it. He finally said something that wasn't negative or bad about Stadia. He pretty much said, hey, if it works for you and you enjoy the platform, then great. He actually used great when talking about Stadia. That's awesome. See, man, you don't have to like it yourself, but you don't have to shit on it for other people. That's all we're asking.
It's an option. For me, though, Stadia just... I wouldn't spend $60 on a game that I'd only access on the cloud. Why would you not get it on, you know, GOG, where for the same price, you don't just access it on the cloud, you get the DRM-free version of the game. Like, there's no contest. Like, if you can, get it on GOG is what I'd recommend, because not only do 100% of the proceeds go to CD Projekt, it's a DRM-free version of the game, which, you know, it's the DRM-free version is best version.
You just couldn't let Stadia go out on a high note, could you? You just had to find a way to say, hey, don't waste your money on Stadia. Go get it somewhere. You just had to do that, didn't you? It's that shit right there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm your boy Twiz. Don't forget to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Laters, y'all.
So that's where we're at now, folks. The biggest game release of 2020 is launching everywhere on September 17th, except on Stadia. This is pretty bad optics all around and does not paint a confident picture for the future of Stadia. CD Projekt Red recognizes that the level of interest for Stadia is low enough that they can get away with not releasing Cyberpunk 2077 on time for Stadia.
Is arriving on November 19th alongside other platforms, and pre-orders are starting now.